Thank you very much, Alan, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Tommy Cooper fans. We're going to have a look and have some fun tonight, looking at behind the scenes of this great magical person. I've met many people over the years that have worked and had fun with Tommy, including his family. I remember chatting with Vicky at a lunch a couple of years ago. It's his lovely daughter. And I said, what reminds you about your dad? She said, he was in the drawing room one day and Dad was jumping up and down like that. It might have been like that. No, it was like that. And she said, Dad, what's wrong? He said, I've just had some milk of magnesia and I forgot to shake the bottle. We're going to have a look at this man that's constantly performing. What sort of man cuts off the bottom of a trouser leg, walks in to the local library and says, here's a turn up for the books for you. Tom was always in a state of play. And I've got here one of his smallest magic wands. And I'm ever so pleased to have this because they don't make them any longer. Now, what Tom would love to do, and you have all done this, and you've watched your children do it, and your grandchildren do it, and it takes you into a most lovely state of relaxing pain. Have you done that? And Tom would do it, and you'd go to catch a bubble, wouldn't you? And it would burst, but of course when Tom caught it, and then you have to watch so carefully because just like that, it comes and goes. Oh, thank you. Now, Tom, all magicians can do this. Does anyone remember what one of these is? What's that in real money? 50p. Well, years ago, you would remember this, but in the 40s and 50s, this was a lot of money. And what magicians can do, we can get these notes, and when we fold them up and give them a squeeze and open them up, they change into something bigger, don't they? Yeah. It's just what magicians do. It's a bit of fun for us. And Tom would have loved to do this. And he would always tip the cab drivers and he'd say, thank you very much for looking after me. You know, you've really looked after me this weekend. And when I said to you, King Arthur's close, and you said, don't worry, I'll shake you off at the next roundabout. I thought that was funny. So what I'd like to do, I'd like to give you a drink. And Tom would have this out, you see, and the eyes would be big now. Is Tom going to turn it into a fiver? Is he going to turn it into a tenner? Of course, when Tommy squeezed it, he would turn it into a tea bag. Thank you very much. And he said, look, I'm a bit shy. Yeah. And he'd say, don't have a look at it now. And he would stick it in his top pocket. And it would just amuse Tom that chap would be home. He'd say, Doris, guess who I took to TEDx? Tommy Cooper. Did you really? Oh yeah, he laughed at my joke, King. Yeah, lovely. And did he give you a tip? He said he did. He'd reach in and get the course. And of course it would be a PG tip. As you say, well he can't make a monkey out of you, can he? So, this most lovely man, he was in fact a master magician. He was a member of the Magic Circle. And he would often say, you know, I'm now a member of the Inner Magic Circle. And today, they made me a member of the Secret Six. And it's so secret, I don't know who the other five are. We're going to have a look at some of the tricks behind the scenes, because as a member of the Magic Circle myself, it's not just going to be looking at his fun and his jokes. I can show you some of the things that he could really do behind the scenes. He was a big favourite with the Queen, often asked to provide entertainment at Windsor Castle, and this is one of the Queen's favourite tricks. Tarby tells a lovely story. You know, when all the performers are in line at the end of a Royal Command performance, Tarby's standing next to him. Tarby loved Tommy. He even worked on the film The Plank, the 47-minute silent film, for free, just because Tommy was on it. And he tells a story, they're all in line and the Queen's going, thank you very much. And they don't say too much because we want to get home. And she's got to Tommy, and they know each other really. And she said, thank you very much. She went to walk away and he said, excuse me, did you really like the show? And she said, yes, we did, Mr. Cooper. We really liked the show. He said, no, excuse me, did you really, really like the show? She said, yes, we did. And he said, excuse me, does your mother like the show? She said, you know very well that Mother and I really like your show. He said, can I ask you a personal question then? It's really gone quiet now. And she said, well, you can, Mr. Cooper, but I don't know if I can answer it. He said, do you like football? And she said, well, not really. He said, well, can I have your tickets for the FA Cup final? Okay. So this is a classic of magic, and you would only actually see Tom perform this if he was at a private party or you was amongst his close family and friends. He would throw this trick away on stage. And it's a classic, it's the famous cut and restore rope trick. So watch this very carefully. And the more observant of you will notice that this rope has got two ends. And the ends are always at the end. Madam, do you like rope tricks? Bad experience? Well, you look very royal, really regal there. Can you pretend to be the Queen? Just give that a pull and confirm. Is that a solid... Oh, it looks quite strong there. It's only a small part you got in this one. Okay. No, you haven't got a speaking part in this. Now, these ends are a bit slippery, so keep an eye on them. Because sometimes when you go to tie them, the ends slip off. Which is no good, because that means it's with a rope with no ends. So I'll have to get these back on now so I can perform the famous cut and restore trick. So do you mind blowing that on that rope? You're not scared of work, are you? It's straight in there. And back on they go. You're too stunned to applaud. Oh, it does have to be sometimes. Right, okay, now I'm going to tie them a bit quicker now, otherwise we won't get it down. Now, tie like that, give it a tie like that, and down like that. Sir there with that lovely dress on. Would you mind? I've got a friend from Scotland, and he was ever so annoyed with his neighbours the other day, banging on the door, 2 o'clock in the morning, and he's just in the middle of practising on his bagpipes, and he has to go, right, give that a cut just there like that. Oh, thank you very much, sir. Look at that. Cut it in half there like that. Okay, now thanks for that cut there. There we've got 2 pieces of rope and 4 ends. I can now restore it to you, doing the famous Khyber pass move. I should just wave my hand magically across the centre of the rope, and back it comes again, solid like that. Right, now what we're going to do, we're going to get both ends down the same end, and we're going to swap the ends with the middle, but we're going to do it magically. So you pull one end in like that, and if you blow on it, it goes invisible. And it makes its way down to the centre, and the centre's going up there. And when it gets near the centre, that becomes up and in. And now the other one's going to go down and join that, and if you blow it like that, that's already its way down, and the other half of the centre's going up there, and here it comes. This one's a bit slower. Here it comes, and out it pops there with the centre up there. So can you check that piece of rope? Could you check that piece of rope there? Check that up there. And can you make sure, is that a strong piece of rope? Can you make that any bigger, man? No. No? Okay, can you make that any smaller, sir? No, okay. And that's definitely a small piece of rope there. You could do that. So I've got a big piece, I've a small piece, I've a medium-sized piece, and this was one of Tom's favourite. He goes, I'm going to make this all become the same size. It was part of his examination for the magic circle. You get the tops the same. That's easy, really, isn't it? And you get the bottoms the same. It's the middle is the hard bit, isn't it? No, it is. Trust me on this. So, you need some help from the audience. I'm going to count to 3, and you're all going to go just like that for Christmas. And it's going to 3 pieces of rope the same size. Are you ready? Everyone's got to join in. 1, 2, 3. And we have 3 pieces of rope. Due to your help, 3 pieces of rope. Now, what I've got to do, I've got to restore them back to the original state because I've got another job to rush off to in March. So if I take the top of rope number 1, the bottom of rope number 2, and the top of rope number 3, now watch this, close up magic before your very eyes, they are restored. There's my baby.